Hey guys, welcome back to Justin&Sam. Today we're going to be continuing our AP series. We're going to be tiering all the APs into 5 tiers, right? Yeah, and then we're going to be giving our advice as we go.
Right, so the way that we tiered them was I was actually a nerd and I made a spreadsheet. I can link it in the description if you guys want to see, but it's basically just a number system that helped us to rank every AP like without as much bias, but it's still very subjective, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, also there's a bunch of APs, so like we're going to be organizing them into like what subject they belong to, and we'll be leaving timestamps in the description.
Right,
So, yeah.
And the categories are going to be Capstone first, and then all the arts, and then English, social sciences, math, science, and then foreign language.
So yeah.
Okay, so like we said before, we're going to be tiering every single AP that the College Board currently offers, and we're going to start with the Capstone APs. So the first one is AP Seminar, which we are going to put in the S tier. So let me, there we go.
I don't think we didn't take the class though, but like.
Right, I was going to take the class.
Yeah.
Right. So basically what we know about the class is that it's not too much busy work and also not that much homework. It's mostly just in-class stuff. And it's also very self-motivated and self-paced because you'll be choosing your own topic to go in depth with. This does make it very interesting though, because you can choose stuff that you like to research, and keep in mind that you have to do a group presentation as part of this AP, but your teacher scores it. And the main reason why we put it in the S tier is...
Okay, so the next category is going to be art. Me and Sam, we didn't take art, but again, we're just going off of what our friend said. So we're going to group AP, or studio art 2D design, 3D design, and studio art drawing, like all in one category-ish. And we're going to put them in the D tier.
RIP.
Yes. So with these courses, there's a lot of work that you have to do. There's many art pieces that you need to complete by the end of the school year. And graders only look at your pieces for like a few seconds before going on to the next person. So a bad grader can really ruin your score. So just be careful about that. And specifically for art, there will always be people that are better than you. So just keep that in mind and don't compare yourself to other people.
Right, and then what also goes into art is art history, which we're going to put in the B tier for now. Our school didn't offer art history, but from what we've heard, it's a lot of memorization of like specific pieces and techniques and things. But it's good for people who like both history and art. It's kind of like niche, but it seems to be an okay AP for people to take. But it's not offered many places.
Very memory based too, right?
Right, yeah. And then the last one for art is music theory, which we both took.
3.
And a 4.
Okay.
So basically, it's not that big of a workload, but you should only take it, or I would only recommend if you take it, if you have musical background, like even basic theory or like vocal training. Some kind of thing that'll allow you to know like what a whole note is and like what a scale is, because those are things like hard to explain, and going in there without knowing any of that, it's going to be really hard for you.
You don't want to underestimate the test though, because like even for me, so I did the CM thing, Certificate of Merit for piano, and I was level 10 by that time, but I still got a 3 on the exam because I didn't really know what I was doing. So make sure to study for the exam before taking it. It's a very talent-based test, I think. So yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. So we're putting it in the B tier. I forgot to do that.
Right.
But also, I just want to mention that on the test there is like a sight singing part. So you also want to make sure that you can like carry a tune and read music. Those are important things because they'll give you like a sheet music and you'll have to sing it to them.
It's pretty hard actually.
Yeah, it's like. Anyway. Okay, so the next category that we're going to be tiering is English. So there's only 2 APs in this category, but it's its own category. So yay, English, I guess. So English language and composition, the one that most people take their junior year, we're gonna put that in the B tier. There's a lot of homework and a lot of reading, but it's like it helps you establish, I guess, like more of your identity and your writing voice, and it's very constructive to character like building. It's good prep for AP Lit, and it also has fewer prereqs, so more people can take it. So it could be seen as easier, but it's work heavy, and there's also discussions that we do not like.
Yes, that is very true. And then the course after Lang is typically AP Lit. We're gonna put that in the A tier. Yay! So it's similar to Lang, where there's a lot of homework and a lot of reading, I guess. For our class, in our school, it wasn't, I guess, that homework heavy. But I know in general it's pretty reading heavy, so just be careful about that. For Lit specifically, you want to cater to the rubric especially, and just have good testing skills for the multiple choice. Also, you want to know the gist of the passage. Even though like you might not know the full meaning, you can always improv during writing, and that's what I did. That's what you did too, right?
Yeah. You write the thesis, you write your essay, then you go back and you change your thesis.
It's a bad strategy.
It's
fine.
We both got 5s.
Yeah. Your teacher will tell you not to do that, but like, it's not the end of the world if you do. So yeah, that's it for English though. Yeah. Alright, so the next subject is going to be social sciences. So we're going to start off with the government theories, right? So government and politics, comparative. Yeah. And we didn't take it, but we'll put it in the B tier for now. Yeah. So the class is more of an overview of government in general, with studies into the government of like China, Iran, and other countries like that. It's very applicable on the global scale if you want to compare governments, but it's a lot less in depth than actual U.S. government.
Right. That being said, though, we're also gonna put U.S. Gov in the B tier because it only talks about U.S. history and U.S. government. It's very memorization heavy, so basically you're going to have to memorize a lot of cases and vocabulary and history. But questions are sometimes reused from Albert-IO or previous tests, so it's easy to study for if you memorize everything. It's all fact memorization, lots of busy work and testing. It's good if you're interested in like specifically U.S. history and politics, or if you want to go into politics in the United States. But if not, we would both recommend taking Econ over Gov, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll find out that many of these classes are very memorization heavy just because they're social sciences, but Econ is like the one exception to that. Okay, so the next AP is going to be human geography, and we're going to put it in the B tier.
The B tier is getting crowded. It's okay.
It is. So for this class specifically, freshmen tend to take geography just because it's one of the easier APs. That being said, because of the fact that there are freshmen taking the class, the pass rate is pretty low. So please know what you're doing before you take the class. Regarding like the content itself, it's interesting if you are a fan of like anthropology and politics, and it's a good AP to just start off with. So yeah.
Right. And then we have U.S. history, which we're also going to put in the B tier,
Yes.
as long as I can find it. It's here. Thank you. So it's easier than AP World, which we're going to talk about next, but it's more in-depth because you're just focusing on one country, so you're going to need to know more details. That being said, Hamilton does help, according to our friends. And the class AP US History gives some college credit, but it doesn't always give college credit, so if you want credit, you should go with World History. It's also taken by a lot more people than World History is, so it looks less impressive on your college transcript, and it's harder to get on the top of the curve.
So the next history is going to be World History, modern, right? And we'll put that in the A10?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this AP is offered in many schools, and it's good to take after a year of freshman history. It's a lot of work, but the curriculum has narrowed down over the past years, right? And the actual test isn't too difficult as long as you can, I guess, infer and generalize. The essays are exhausting, but they are easier than the English ones because they don't really grade you on like how eloquent you are. It's more so like on the content itself. What else? It's easy to pass, I heard, right? But it's also hard to get a 5. So, and it gives the most widespread credit out of all the history APs. So it's a pretty good AP to take.
Right. And then we have AP Euro, which was not offered at our school, but what we've heard is basically that it takes a lot of time, so we're going to put it in the B tier before I go on, because I keep forgetting. So it takes a lot of time, it's a lot of work and a lot of analytical reading and writing, but if European history is your thing, you can go for AP Euro. If not, if you just want like I guess world history, go for AP World History. Because world is basically still Euro, because Europe was basically everywhere. But world gives you more credit. So what we're saying is basically take AP World.
Yes, over AP Euro, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The next AP is going to be AP Macroeconomics, and we know a thing or two about it.
Ha 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 ha.
I mean, kinda, yeah, because we both got
5s.
5s, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But anyway, for this class, your performance is largely dependent on how good your teacher is. Oh, sorry, yeah, so
Okay.
it's going to be in the A tier. You would expect that from like an economics class, it would be like very concrete because it's like a math. Well, because economics like sounds like math, but it's really not. It's very abstract. If you don't like the answer, it depends. You won't like the class as well. You'll find it hard to like understand certain concepts of economics, like us. But yeah, you'll do fine if you just follow your teacher.
Right. And it's like useful for the world too.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Very applicable. Yeah.
And then for microeconomics, which is related, but basically, we're gonna put it in the A tier. But basically, it's different from macro in that it talks about like specific instances of econ in like the smaller scale, whereas macro is like country to country. But for micro, we would say that it is useful, but you can't apply it as much because you're not talking about global economies again. So we would recommend macro over micro, even though they're both good to take.
And then we have psychology, and like macro, we are both kind of qualified, I think.
You get a 5, right?
I got 1, not 5. So for this AP, we're gonna put it in the S tier.
Woohoo!
So for psych, it's honestly, or for me at least, it was the easiest AP that I took. I would say that it's like 0.7 of an AP because it's, again, pretty easy. If you want to take multiple APs in 1 year, consider taking AP Psych as like a buffer AP. I feel like honestly you could self-study for the exam and still get a 5. That's just me though. Also, it's good to take after sociology. That's what Sam did, and Sam did well, obviously. So yeah.
Right. AP Psych is also kind of reading heavy, but I did all the readings and I took notes, but someone else didn't and still got a 5.
Who does readings? What? Okay.
So don't stress out too much about the workload. A lot of it is probably going to be optional no matter where you are. So Psych is just a good AP. We heavily recommend it.
It's interesting too. So
Yeah, it's cool.
and applicable, like macroeconomics. So that's why it's in the S tier.
Right.
The next subject is going to be math, and the first class for math is going to be AP Calc AB. It's a pretty hard AP actually. Oh, let's hear it first. B tier, right? Yeah, so it's a pretty hard AP. Oh, what happened?
There, no.
And I would put it, or like I would say that it's like 1.5 of an AP. You need to be prepared for the class and to like stretch your minds in the abstract sense, because there's a lot of graph analysis and it can get really confusing if you aren't able to keep up. So make sure to reach out to people if you need help because it's a really challenging class.
Right. And then after Calc AB, we have Calc UC, which we're actually going to put in the A tier because it's super cool. It's also like it's really chill if you took AB the previous year because you have a lot less curriculum to cover.
But if not, it's good.
But if not, it's terrible, which is why it's not in the S tier, because you do need to take AP before it in order for you to really like get the most out of it. But it is a good class to take, and it'll get you out of a lot of college math courses too.
So after Calc, we're going to talk about computer science. We're going to do computer science A first, and that will go in the A tier.
B tier.
B tier. Sorry, guys. Yes. So though the class isn't as bad, if you are coming into the class without any prior experience, you need a teacher who knows what they're doing. The course is very language based, so like there's a bunch of coding, and I think for that course you'll be learning Java. So you need to understand like its syntax and stuff like that.
Right, and then similar to that, we have computer science principles. But principles is easier than Comp Sci A, so we're gonna put it in the A tier. Basically, it's just good basic skills to have. There's a decent pass rate, and most people say it's pretty easy. And then
for stats,
yes.
She took stats online.
Yes, is that my hint to? Yeah, okay. So for stats, I did take it online. It's pretty easy. And it's pretty useful. So I'm gonna put it in the A tier.
What's in the A's?
Yeah, there's no C's yet.
And B's.
Well, anyway. So stats, it's like calculator stuff. So the key is basically knowing when to press what button on your calculator. It's basically necessary to have a graphing calculator, but it's an easy math course. It can get you out of some college prereqs, but you can't really get like GE credit for it. You can get elective credit for it. Yeah. Alright, so the next category is science, which is also a lot of classes. I think we're going alphabetical, so it'll be bio first. So AP biology. We are good. Why are you saying that? You didn't take it.
Oh. It's so weird.
Sorry. Okay. So we're gonna put AP Bio in the A tier. I'm just gonna...
In the middle.
No. Yeah.
Oh, it's first
to the
now.
front. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a lot of busy work and memorization, as a lot of APs are. But the actual test is not that hard. It's mostly reading comprehension. So it's like easy test, hard class. But you really do need a lot of stamina to do well in it, I guess.
Yes. And then after bio, we have Chem. My personal favorite AP is first tier right now.
Chem and Psych.
Okay. So for Chem, we're gonna also put it in the A tier.
First.
Next. Oh. Okay, sure. So for chemistry, I would recommend taking at least 1 year of chemistry before AP Chemistry. There are many concepts to grasp, and it's good to know just like, I guess, Algebra 2 stuff, as well as prior chemistry stuff as well, so that you don't fall too behind.
Right.
Yeah.
And next we have APES, AP Environmental Science, which we are gonna put in the B tier. Because it's seen as like the easy science AP, but there is a lot of stuff that won't be covered in like your basic bio class, like climate stuff, and sometimes there's like labs with bugs and things that are kind of gross. But for environmental science, practicing the free response questions is super helpful, because a good amount of the concepts overlap on like how things can impact the environment and how to like, I guess, just answer the questions the way they want you to answer them. There's a very specific way.
Okay. The next AP is going to be Physics 1, and for that we'll put it in the C tier.
Aww.
It is for C tier, so it's special.
Oh.
So this class is very number based, for a science class at least. So because of that, it's good to take, well, it's not good, but like it's better if you take it with AP Calc, AB, I think. Also, you need to be on top of things, especially for this class, because there's a bunch of material and it's a very hard class to cram. Me personally, I tried cramming for the AP a month before the test, and that was super stressful, so don't do that. Also, it doesn't really give college credit, so just keep that in mind. Yeah.
Which is why you don't take Physics 1, you just take Physics 2 and then you fail. So,
no.
Physics 2 is going in the C tier with Physics 1. Because for Physics 2, if you want to take Physics 2, please consider taking Physics 1 first. Otherwise, you'll be behind and you'll ultimately fail like I did.
You didn't fail though.
Well,
You didn't fail.
okay, but basically, Physics 2 is going to build on the math skills that you made in Physics 1 and also Calculus if you're taking that at the same time. And it'll also build on some fundamental chemistry stuff. Be prepared to have your mind stretched and learn different difficult concepts like relativity. And there's also a lot of memorization and labs. Doesn't really give college credit either. Yeah, so physics...
It's very abstract too. So.
Right.
Okay, next we have Physics C. We didn't take the class, but like, we're gonna go off of what other people said. We're gonna put it in the C tier as well. Both Physics C's in the C tier. For this class, you want to know calculus for sure, and preferably you want to take the Physics 1 and Physics 2 courses before you take the Physics C courses.
And they still don't give college credit, so like...
I think they do if like you aren't a science major, right? Oh, okay, well...
okay, anyway.
Anyway.
Okay. So the last category that we have for you guys is the languages. So what you need to know about these is that they are very specialized. So it helps if you learn the language for at least 4 years or 3 levels and you did well, or you're a fluent speaker. Because for these classes, you must be able to read, write, and decipher all of the languages. Chinese and Spanish, I'm going to say, are the most useful because they'll be most likely to get you credit in college. And they're also very versatile, especially for us. We live in California, so Chinese and Spanish are pretty common. Also, Spanish is good if you live like in states adjacent to Mexico where you're already exposed to it, because the grammar forms aren't that bad, and you'll have like some vocabulary already. And Chinese is good if and only if you were exposed to it already, because the characters are really complicated, but they're also really useful.
Fun fact, I could have taken AP Spanish after my sophomore year because I was taking Spanish 3, but I was too scared and too lazy to take the class. And now I regret it because I had to take Chinese over the summer to fulfill my foreign language requirement. So that's kind of sad. Oh
Yeah,
well.
and I still have to take classes in college because I didn't take AP Spanish or AP Chinese.
Yeah, so if you're already taking like Spanish or Chinese or whatever language you're taking, just take the AP so you don't have to take foreign languages in college.
Yeah. And I will say before we rank these, so they're ranked basically partially on pass rates, but also on like versatility and the amount that it's offered. So we're gonna put Chinese in the C tier because it's so specialized, but it's useful. C for Chinese, yes. French is also going into C.
German goes in D.
Rip German.
I'm sorry. Same with Italian.
Yeah.
And Japanese.
Aww.
And Latin.
Hey, I took some Latin.
This one.
Spanish language and culture goes in B. Because that's
very
cool.
prominent in California at least. Yeah.
And then literature and culture for Spanish is gonna go in C because it gets you less credit.
Okay. Is that it? Yeah. Yay! Okay, well, thanks guys for watching us tier these APs. Again, they're kind of subjective, and we didn't take all these APs obviously. So please look at other resources before coming to your conclusion.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, yeah. Bye, guys. I don't know you're recording.